The new weapon Stormbringer is out, and as you'll see, it is A0 and level 60. Now, there is a reason for that. We're on my new-ish account, and today we'll be going over why I don't actually recommend Stormbringer, despite it being an amazing weapon. If the video was helpful, a like and subscribe would be appreciated. And if you want to be a part of the community or join the guild, make sure to join the Discord. There's a link in the description. Real quick, if you want some free solo level and promo codes and want to support the channel at the same time, click the top link in the description. It'll bring you here. Sign in with your Netmarble account and link your solo leveling account. Click support. And after 24 hours, check your coupon history and you will have some promo codes to use in-game. Let's go over what the Stormbringer actually does. Now, it is a new wind weapon. And even at A0, it is pretty good. Now, we'll go over all of it, but Hailstorm isn't really going to be used. When he uses it, it doesn't trigger a critical hit, but increases his damage by 120%, decreases precision, and then increases attack and precision. Now, this only happens if Sung Jin Woo's strength is below 300. If it's above, which it will be for nearly every single player, the effect changes to Awaken Storm. When Hailstorm hits, which by the way is one of the skills on Stormbringer, it will, for one, pull enemies in, which is great if you're doing like mob content where there's a lot of enemies to kill at the same time. It doesn't trigger a critical hit, but increases his damage by 200%. That's an awesome boost. His attack is increased by 30%, and his precision increases by 5%. It also increases the basic core and hailstorm of Stormbringer. Now that's awesome. It means that Sung Jin Woo is just going to get a bunch of attack. His precision being increased by 5% means that you can potentially lower the precision skill points in Sung Jin Woo's skill tree. At A1, Storm Strike deals damage equal to 1600% of attack, which is pretty amazing. The Tempest Mark increases damage taken by 5% and wind damage taken by 5%. So really, it's like a 20% increase. With the A2, you get an extra 10% boost of wind elemental damage, which is awesome, especially if you're using it in combination with the DKD, which we'll talk about later, because that is pretty much the only situation where you're going to be running Stormbringer. A3 is kind of crazy. It decreases the user's damage taken by 50%. It also increases the Tempest Mark so that the increased damage taken is 10%, but the wind damage is 15%. I presume both of these stack to 2 times, so that's 20% extra on that and 30% extra. So like 50% extra damage. A4, the cooldown is increased by 20%. Awesome, just means you can activate all of them buffs way quicker. Now, A5 is kind of crazy. The Storm Strike deals damage equal to 3200% and triggers the Tempest Mark, which is insane. It also recovers Jin Woo's MP by 25. Now, the Tempest Mark doesn't increase how much it scales off, but I think A5 is kind of worth it just for the Storm Strike. A3 is kind of the sweet spot, as that is the first one where you get the increase in Tempest Mark, which means if you get this to A3 and just have a cracked DKD, then that's totally fine. You'll get a little bit less out of Stormbringer, but it's still buffing the DKDs by a lot. So in my opinion, for most people, if you are going to get the Stormbringer, stop at A3. If you are a spender, then get it to A5. But yeah, really the only situation I see this in for one, in wind content, it isn't a universal weapon like Plum where you kind of bring it everywhere. So only really used in wind content and only really used with another light weapon like Westwind or DKD, but 95% DKD. It is probably the best, well, not even probably, it's the best weapon to go alongside DKD. However, and why I wanted to make this video, if you are new to the game, do not replace the Plum with that, even if you're going like Wind Team DKDs. I would rather you have the Plum with the DKDs, even though it's a slightly less better option, because the Plum is universal, used in like any content, used in combo with any weapon. So if you're starting the game, you're looking at your draw and you're like, yeah, I have a lot of weapon custom draw and custom draw tickets, but my two weapons, let's put the DKD and the Stormbringer. Them together are going to be amazing. However, by the time you reach late game, you're going to be a little bit annoyed that you don't have an A5 Plum. So I just never really recommend or think I can recommend using the Stormbringer over the Plum. Now, if you're late game, yeah, it is going to be a slight increase in damage using the DKDs against wind weak enemies. But overall, I just don't think it's better than the Plum. I don't think a weapon that is better, like slightly better even, it's not even like that much better. It is slightly better than the Plum in that specific context. but the plum is just universal. So yeah, honestly, this is going to be quite a quick video. I just wanted to make it so that people are like, oh, there's a new weapon. Let's dump all of my custom draws, my weapon draws. Let's try and get this, like, weapon A5'd. It is awesome. I'm going to get it to A3. And I think that everyone should get it to A3. But apart from that, don't be re-rolling for it if you're new. Don't be having it instead of plum or moonshadow daggers. Final thoughts, it's an amazing weapon. It isn't a game changer. If you disagree with me, debate me in the comments. I'm totally fine with that. Let's have a conversation. And if there's any questions you want to ask, leave them in the comments or join the Discord and at me. Very helpful community in there, which I'm super grateful for. But I hope you have a good day, and I hope the video was helpful. See ya.